A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I want A+ English.
Hello and welcome back to A+. It's day 2 of our article about the giant stone heads of the South Pacific. I wrote this article, so I know lots about Rapa Nui. Rapa Nui is the name of the island, but it's also known by another name, right, Chickalin?
It's called the Easter Island, right?
And do you remember why?
Because people went there on Easter, so they named it that way, right?
Yeah, and those people were the Dutch, or people from the Netherlands.
Thank you for reminding
Holland,
me. Yeah,
right?
I forgot.
Well, then I think Easter Island and Taiwan have something in common, that the Dutch people came here a long time ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Taiwan has a similar history to Rapa Nui.
Right.
But today's warm-up question, would you like to go to Rapa Nui? Why or why not?
Well, this is definitely one of the places that I really want to go the most.
Wow.
And because one of my friends lives in Chile now. One of my best friends. She's from Venezuela, but she moved there.
And so
I think I'm going to go. It's on my go-to list.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future.
Absolutely. I think it's a really special place. And it's one of those places that you see pictures or photographs of from when you're very young.
Right.
Like, I remember when I was younger, seeing pictures or videos of the Great Wall of China. And so when I actually got to go there, it was so amazing to see this famous thing. I think it would feel similar to see the stones of Easter Island. You guys can think about this too. Would you like to go to Rapa Nui? Why or why not? But for now, let's get into day 2 and learn more about these mysterious stone heads.
The giant stone heads of the South Pacific. Warm-up question. Would you like to go to Rapa Nui? Why or why not?
Almost 900 stone heads stand on the island of Rapa Nui. People call these giant heads moai. They can be up to 10 meters tall. They're heavy too. The heaviest one is 86 tons. Some of them even have hats. People first made the moai 500 to 900 years ago. We're still not sure about the reason for the moai, though. Most people think they're for religious purposes. Some say they look like the ancestors of the people on Rapa Nui. How did people build them? This is one of the biggest mysteries about the moai. Moving 86 tons of stone without machines seems impossible. The mystery of the moai still interests people to this day.
So the article begins with almost 900 stone heads stand on the island of Rapa Nui. People call these giant heads moai.
Oh, that rings a bell now. We've studied this when we were in primary school, right?
That's so cool.
Did you study it?
I did, yeah.
Me too. Okay. 所以呢，复活节岛呢，它上面有近900个头部的石像，那大家都称这些巨大的头颅叫做莫艾石像。
900 is so many. When you see photos of Rapa Nui, maybe there are like 5 or 10 in the picture, but 900 must have been very hard to make. Well, the article says they can be up to 10 meters tall. That's like more than 5 times my height.
Yeah.
They're heavy too. The heaviest one is 86 tons. Some of them even have hats.
I wonder how they made them.
That's a big question that many people have been asking for a very long time.
Yeah. 好，那这是我们看到今天这个单字 heavy。Heavy 就是重的，那我们也可以拿来形容比较不愉快的事情，有这种剧烈的感觉。比如说像下雪下得很大呀 ，heavy snow， 或者是下雨下得很大 ，heavy rain 或 heavy traffic， 就是交通比较拥塞的。那我们再看一个句子， The heavy rain caused floods in many parts of the country. 这是大雨呢，导致该国呢许多地区都发生了洪水。那我们再看另外一个句子 ，Please help me carry this heavy box to another room. I can't do it myself. 可以帮我把这个很重的箱子一起搬到另外一个房间吗？我自己是搬不动的。
So let's talk about the words heavy and ton. They're both very heavy words. Heavy is an adjective and it describes something that weighs a lot. It has a lot of weight. A car is very heavy. A table could be heavy too. It might be hard or even impossible to lift or move something heavy. The opposite of heavy is light. And then the word ton, which is spelled T-O-N, is a noun, and a ton is a measurement of weight. 1 ton is about 1,000 kilograms. That's very heavy. A car, for example, could weigh between 1 and 2 tons. So you can imagine how much weight we're talking about. One of those stone heads could weigh 86 tons.
Right.
That's as much as maybe 40 cars.
哦哇，好重啊！这么重的石头哎，所以老师刚刚一直讲的这个字 ton， 它就是公吨的意思，所以一公吨大概等于1000公斤左右 ，right? That's so heavy. 所以呢，文章说呢，他们可以高达10米，这一些摩艾石像，他们也非常的重，最重的大概有86吨左右。那他们中的一些石像啊，甚至还戴着帽子。所以上面也有讲到啊，这个不定代名词搭配复数名词的用法，也就是今天 Magic Box 的内容。Let's take a look.
Magic Box。
大家好，又到了每周星座的时间咯，我是星座专家唐綺阳。4月重要的星象啊，就是木星或海王星合，回顾、修正、关怀社会。可能呢，你会发现周遭的人怎么开始关心起公共事务啦？例如呢，我的好多邻居朋友怎么了 ？Most of my friends volunteered to clean our neighborhood. 大家呢都自愿要来打扫我们这个社区哦，想为这个邻里、这个社区呢尽一份心力。你有没有呢也想要有些行动来反馈这个社会呢？英文里面呢有一票代名词啊，就叫做不定代名词。为什么不定呢？因为呢它没有代表特定的人事物哦。什么意思呢？像是 I、you、she、he， OK， 这些呢都是代名词，但是有指定的哦。我就是我，你就是你，从发话者讲出来呢，都有很明确的这个代替的人事物。但是不定代名词呢，是例如刚刚开头我说的 ，most of my friends。假设我有100个好朋友好了，大部分的朋友是谁呀？是 Rose 妈妈还是林心如？不知道。没有讲，只知道啊是我大部分的朋友，没有特别指定。这个呢就是我们不定代名词的用法咯。不定代名词啊，它可以是单数，可以是复数。那今天呢要特别来讲解复数的用法咯。首先呢，不定代名词的句型呢是不定代名词加上 of， 再加上复数名词。然后呢，要记得哦，因为有指定，所以呢，这个复数名词呢，前面需要加上冠词 the， 或者是呢所有格来指定哦，是哪一些群体里面的哪一些人。比方说呢 ，most of my friends， 我大部分的朋友，或是呢，我们说 all of the students， 所有的学生等等哦。那既然呢是复数了，后面的动词呢也就是复数的形态咯，不用特别改成第三人称单数什么，通通不用，就是复数的形态。那知道了怎么用呢？我们就可以来看一下有哪些单字可以这么使用咯。首先呢，可数的我们可以很简单的用数字，2个、3个、4个 ，2、3、4都可以。那再来呢 ，both 这个单字呢表示两者都，例如呢 ，both of my parents， 我的双亲2个都 ，OK， 我们呢就用 both， 2个就用 both。那其他搭配可数名词的呢，还有 few 就是很少哦。那注意到呢，如果前面加了 a few 意思呢就变成一些 ，OK， 跟刚刚 few 表示很少可不一样咯。那还有呢，我们可以很多 很多怎么讲？我们可以用 many， 另外呢还有 most 是大部分，或者是呢 several 数个，以及 some OK 部分，这些字词呢都是可以用来搭配可数名词的。我们来看一个句子了，我的一些朋友们呢喜欢去高档的餐厅喝下午茶。Some of my friends like to have afternoon tea at the fancy restaurant. 哎呀，好了，我也差不多要准备出门跟他们去喝下午茶了。你们就加紧多练习不定代名词搭配复数名词的用法咯。
Well, the article now tells us about the history of these strange stones. People first made the moai 500 to 900 years ago.We're still not sure about the reason for the moai, though.
所以这边呢有一个 be sure about， 就是确定或清楚，所以代表我们现在是不确定的。那他意思说，人们在500到900年前呢是第一次制作了这个摩艾石像，不过不确定为什么要制作这一些石像。
Yeah, we're still not sure. That means we don't know. We're not certain about the reason for something.We need to learn more or do more research before we can know. When you say you're not sure about something, you probably have some idea, but not enough to be certain. Well, the article does have some ideas about what they were used for. Most people think they're for religious purposes. Some say they look like the ancestors of the people on Rapa Nui.The article used the word religious here. Religious is an adjective and it means something to do with religion. And religion is believing in a god or spirits. A religious person is a person who believes in God. And a religious event is maybe something like a wedding or a ceremony for dead people. Something that is to do with religion, gods, or spirits.People think the heads might be religious because they've got something to do with gods.
对，老师讲的超级清楚 ，religious 其实就是跟宗教有关的，所以就是宗教的。那么 religion 就会是宗教的意思。那我们接下来再看一下 purpose 这一个字。Purpose 就是目的啊，或者是用途，所以其实有一个片语很好记哦，你前面加一个 on 就会变成 on purpose， 就会有故意的意思。所以比如说 was it an accident or did you do it on purpose？ 到底是意外还是你是故意造成的呢？那另外有一个片语也可以说 a sense of purpose， 指的就是意志的意思。所以比如说 having a job gives her a sense of purpose， 代表呢她有工作呢，她才感到比较有意志一点。那我们再看另外一个句子。The purpose of this meeting is to talk about our plans for the next year. 就是呢，这一场会议的目的是要讨论我们明年的规划。
The word purpose is a noun, and the purpose for something is the reason for that thing. The reason that something is done, or the reason something exists. Why that thing is there. So, for example, the purpose of a seat belt in a car is to save your life. The purpose of going to school is to make you smarter and give you more chances to be successful in the future.
Not if you don't pay attention, though.
Then the purpose is lost on you.
Yeah. 所以大多数人呢认为摩艾石像呢是出自于宗教目的的。
The article also used the word ancestor.Ancestor is a noun, and our ancestors are the people that lived a long time ago before us. Our ancestors are our family from many years ago. So your grandfather's grandfather's grandfather is your ancestor, and without him, you wouldn't exist.
所以 ancestor 就是我们的祖先，所以有人说呢，其实这些石像看起来很像 Rapa Nui 人的祖先。
So they're saying that these stone heads maybe represent the ancestors of the people that lived there. So maybe similar to in Taiwanese culture, there was a tradition of respecting ancestors by praying to them.
Yeah, or you use incense.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah. So maybe they will bye or pray to these big stone heads. Well, the article has a very interesting question for us. How did people build them? This is one of the biggest mysteries about the moai. Moving 86 tons of stone without machines seems impossible.
所以他们要搬这么重的东西，看起来感觉就很 impossible。impossible 就是办不到的。那我们再看一下有没有其他的用法哦。Impossible 就是办不到的，或者是不可能的，所以我们也可以指一个人很难搞，或者是很难相处。所以很难相处的话，你可以说 Oliver's girlfriend is impossible when she's jealous， 代表 Oliver 的女友呢吃醋的时候超可怕的。那一样呢，这边呢，如果我们把它变成是可能的，我们只要把 I am 拿掉就 OK 咯，就会是 possible 可能的意思。那我们再看一个句子。The movie was so sad. It was almost impossible to watch it without crying. 那个电影真的太难过、太悲伤，你看的时候是不可能不哭的呀。
The article used the word impossible, which is an adjective, and something impossible is something that you cannot do. If something is impossible, it is 100% certain that it cannot happen or exist or be done. It's impossible for humans to fly without an airplane. And I would love to compete in the Olympics, but at my age, it's impossible. It will never happen.
Really? Why?
I'm already almost 30 years old. It's too late for me to start training for that.
Oh, yeah, they usually start training at a very young age.
It's
like
true.
14, 20, maybe even 20, not 20. 20 is too old.
I'm way too old for that.
You're not. 所以人们呢是如何建造他们的呢？这个是关于摩艾石像的最大谜团之一哦，因为他们没有用机器 ，they didn't use any machines, did they?
Yeah, I mean, 500, 900
By
years
hand?
ago, they didn't have electricity or other things to help them move these stones. And remember, this island is so far away from the mainland.
Right, 这样的 maybe the god made it.
Maybe the god made them.
所以呢，他们没有用机器搬运这些86吨的石头，
And actually, you know, we don't really have an answer for this question.
Okay.
Scientists and archaeologists are still trying to work out exactly how they made these stones and how they moved them.
Yeah.
It's a big mystery, and I think it's cool. The article says the mystery of the Moai still interests people to this day.
所以呢，老师这边出现的 mystery， 我们刚刚一开始 from yesterday's article we talked about mysterious、and the noun form is mystery， 这边出现了就是谜团，代表还没有解出来。那我们再看一下 interest 这个单字，也是今天最后一个字。Interest 就是使什么东西感兴趣的，所以呢，这个字呢在文章中是当动词嘛，就是让我们感到兴趣。可是这个字当名词也可以哦，也是兴趣的意思。所以其实口语上我们有时候会说 out of interest， 代表有点好奇的意思。比如说 just out of interest, are you still dating Connor？ 就是纯粹好奇，你跟 Connor 还有在一起吗？那这个字呢，我们可以把它变化成 interesting 跟 interested 这两个字要分清楚哦。ing 结尾的呢是令人感到有兴趣的，可是如果是 ed 结尾的呢，就是代表你自己感到有兴趣。所以比如说，我觉得你的 ideas 很有趣，其实英文就是 I think your ideas are interesting。可是如果今天是你说自己感到有兴趣，那就是 I'm interested in your ideas。那我们再看另外一个句子。I don't like hiking, but camping interests me a lot. 我虽然不喜欢健行，不过露营呢就让我很感兴趣。
So the article used a few more interesting terms here. The first one is interest. It's a verb and it means to make somebody excited or curious about something. If something interests you, that thing is interesting to you and makes you want to learn more about it. If you think something is boring, you can say that it does not interest you or is of no interest to you. We also saw the phrase to this day. That means that something was true before or happened before and it's still true today or still happens today.
所以这边 to this day， 那个 to 有一种到的感觉，所以一直到今天的意思，至今或直到现在。摩艾石像呢，它的奥秘还是引起人们的兴趣。就像老师刚刚讲的，其实大家 we don't have an answer yet.
Yeah. Well, we hope that this two-day article about Rapa Nui interests you. It certainly interests us and people all around the world for centuries. You know, I kind of like the fact that there's no answer yet to how they moved the stones.
It makes it more interesting.
Makes it more interesting. One of the many mysteries of the world. And maybe this mystery will never be answered. Maybe it's lost to history. Well, let's go to our review time activity and look at some of those words.
Review time.
So for today's review time activity, instead of reviewing the vocabulary, I thought we could play a more fun game where we talk about famous statues from around the world.
Okay.
So the heads on Easter Island or Rapa Nui are kinds of statues, right? They're things that look like people made of stone, and they're used to remember something. Here are some statues from around the world. Chicklin, see if you can guess what I'm talking about.
Okay.
A very tall statue in a river in New York City. It was a gift from France to the USA.
I know this one because I've been on a boat right there.
Cool.
It's so beautiful. It's the
huge.
Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty.
自由女神像是吗？
That's the one. Lady Liberty stands and protects New York City. Okay, another one. A small statue of a girl with a fish tail in Denmark. There's a Disney character who is based on this statue.
Is it the mermaid one?
Yeah.
The little the mermaid.
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
小美人鱼.
There's a statue of the Little Mermaid in Denmark. Let's try this one. A huge statue of a man holding out his arms on top of a mountain in Brazil.
That's Jesus Christ. I know this one. But I don't know the name.
It's called Christ the Redeemer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very famous, and it's a huge statue. And people from all around the world go to visit this statue, especially Christians. Wow, you did so well.
I think I just happen to know all of them. I think I studied them when I was in elementary school. We talked about them before.
Yeah. Well, there are so many statues around the world remembering so many amazing people.
Can you think of any here in Taiwan?
In Taiwan, are there any statues? Not any famous ones that I can think of. There are famous rock formations like the New Wangtao, right? The Queen's Head rock.
Yeah. 对，那个在野柳，你在讲野柳。
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That's not a statue though. That's just a rock that kind of looks like a queen's head.
It's created by the wind.
Yeah. You guys can think about other famous statues around the world. Maybe you can Google and find some photos or pictures of other statues. But that's all we have for today. We'll see you next time and take care.
Bye-bye.
The giant stone heads of the South Pacific. Warm-up question. Would you like to go to Rapa Nui? Why or why not?
Almost 900 stone heads stand on the island of Rapa Nui. People call these giant heads moai. They can be up to 10 meters tall. They're heavy too. The heaviest one is 86 tons. Some of them even have hats. People first made the moai 500 to 900 years ago. We're still not sure about the reason for the moai though. Most people think they're for religious purposes. Some say they look like the ancestors of the people on Rapa Nui. How did people build them? This is one of the biggest mysteries about the moai. Moving 86 tons of stone without machines seems impossible. The mystery of the moai still interests people to this day. Word power.
Heavy, heavy. Please help me carry this heavy box to another room. I can't do it myself. Please help me carry this heavy box to another room. I can't do it myself. Purpose, purpose. The purpose of this meeting is to talk about our plans for the next year. The purpose of this meeting is to talk about our plans for the next year. Impossible, impossible. The movie was so sad. It was almost impossible to watch it without crying. The movie was so sad. It was almost impossible to watch it without crying. Interest, interest. I don't like hiking, but camping interests me a lot. I don't like hiking, but camping interests me a lot.
认识字汇
Ton, ton. Religious, religious. Ancestor, ancestor.